I think one of the big feel-good stories from the Contender series on the past season came when we saw Chad Anheliger taking on Muin Gafurov. Chad Anheliger came into the sport, he was 2-5. From there, he changed everything, changed his camp, changed his outlook, and went on a 9-fight win streak, which included that win over Muin Gafurov, which was an absolute back-and-forth war, and he won via split decision. In that fight, he showed Dana what he wanted to see. The guy had heart, he had skills, and he got the UFC contract. He'll be back in action, taking on Jesses Strader. As we know, Jesses Strader is no easy task for anybody. The man has big knockout power, so it's going to be a great fight. If you missed the fight with Chad Anheliger and Muin Gafurov, take a look at this tape.
Huddle, let's go.
And we are underway, episode 2, season 5, and a low leg kick landed already by Gafurov in the red.
And right away you see Gafurov little bit on his heels, backing up. This is not generally the approach that he takes. Normally he tries to go forward, but Anheliger is doing a really good job of taking the center of the octagon and really trying to impose himself.
This will be work the advantage of Chad Anheliger, but again, Gafurov gets the takedown regardless.
That was beautiful, man. Level change into the double leg. Anheliger has a really good guillotine, but he didn't feel confident in getting his hands locked and getting the power to try and finish. So now you see Gafurov trying to get him off the octagon and circle his back out more to the center.
Yeah, and Anheliger did a good job trying to scoot himself to the octagon, and there he goes again, trying to get himself to where he can build his base, use that octagon as a way to rebuild and stand up. But you're right, DC, Gafurov wise to that, trying to peel him away.
Talk about the good guillotine of Anheliger. 3 submission wins, all by guillotine for the Canadian in his professional career.
You see Anheliger trying to dig his feet into the mat to drive his back pressure into Gafurov. What that does is as Gafurov pushes him forward, he starts to push back into him. It's almost like Gafurov will walk him back up to his feet. That is how you deal with guys that try to keep your weight on your hands. You dig your heels and come up, and you'll see Anheliger get back to his feet and try to scrape and use the fence to turn back into Gafurov. There it is.
Gafurov takes the back.
Both hooks in here for Gafurov. This is a bad position for Chad to be in right here.
And you knew this is where he may struggle against Gafurov, right? That wrestle-heavy approach and his ability to grapple and control from the top.
Chad's last few losses have been by submission, so this is, I'm sure it's something that he has been working, but this is a tough spot for him to be in. He's going to be looking to spin to his right, try to turn into Gafurov and get the top position here, but Gafurov wise to that, scrambles and retakes the back. Oh, look out for the armbar.
Oh, he's got it straight. Oh, good job by Anheliger just deciding, right? You take the least of 2 bad positions. Either you're going to give your back here or you roll and he takes mount. You just got to continue to switch. Right now he's getting flat. Give him mount. Continue to cause actions to try to give yourself an opportunity to get up just like that.
I mean, Gafurov just staying on him the entire time, doing a beautiful job of floating, and he looks like he has a guillotine in here. We'll see if he can get the legs wrapped up.
You're fine, you're fine.
Chad is safe now.
Take your time.
See how quick Gafurov is.
Take your time.
One of the things that makes him so dangerous.
Keep him on his back. He's going to try and get up hard. Be ready for the break.
Let's listen to Anheliger's corner here.
You got elbows. Yeah, you got knees. There you go. Elbows. You got elbows too. Keep him down. Keep him down. There. He's tired. He's tired. Put some pressure on him. Be smart. Smart pressure. Smart. He's tired. That's hurt him, Chad.
So, of course, Brian Bird is Anheliger's head coach. His 2 brothers, Kyle and Reese, generally in the corner with him. They don't know anything about MMA. Oh, landed.
That was a beautiful knee off of a missed punch there by Anheliger.
And that's what Chad does so well. We've seen him do that with uppercuts. He is unloading on Gafurov right now.
Gafurov has to get his feet to the hips and try to push him off of him. But instead he takes full guard to try to knock the cobwebs off. Oh, nice.
Lands another elbow.
Armbar.
And again, Anheliger coming in at plus 300, the biggest underdog on the card tonight.
Gafurov does have 4 wins by armbar. He's very active off his back, is offensive in these positions. So Chad Anheliger has to stay very defensively sound here, stay head high, and not allow him to pivot and look for those offensive opportunities.
See right here, if you're Anheliger, you do not want to be leaning forward with your head and chest. You need to lead with your hips when you go into ground and pound.
Be smart. Stay up. Be smart. Stay on your feet. Beat him up. Turn
Nice job by Gafurov to build back up his feet the moment he got his underhook, but this is the right pace for Chad. He's going at a high work rate. He's got Gafurov working in every position, and it seems as though it's starting to wear on Gafurov much more than it is than Anheliger.
And that was a big victory for Chad to discourage the shot of Gafurov, right? Make him pay when he level changes and looks for that takedown. He's won his fights in opportunities like that before. So if he can continue to show knees and uppercuts as Gafurov level changes and looks to close the distance, it's going to discourage him a little bit from taking those shots.
Round one of our first fight of the night is in the books.
Let's go.
Round two now underway. This fight clock brought to you by Zip Recruiter, talking about Anheliger's brothers, Kyle and Reese, who are in his corner. Not MMA guys, but he said he just feels their support, feels their spirit, so he wants them there each and every fight. Is that normal to have somebody who's not an MMA guy in your corner?
That's a divisive issue. You'll hear people say different things. I personally think it should be coaches and teammates that have worked with you, but I understand a lot of people feel like family is able to push their button and get them motivated in a different way.
When I had my cousin Terry went to me from the first weigh-in of my career to the end. He was the only guy that would walk up on that stage with me, but ultimately when it was time to go to business, I went with the soldiers that I was preparing for battle with for 8 to 12 weeks leading into the fight. So I would tend to agree with Laura here. You put your coaches in there with you, the people that train you. As Gafurov gets another shot, hits a beautiful double leg. The coach are yelling, it's tight. It is tight. Very difficult to finish whenever he's covering your legs on both sides.
It's hard to see from here. You got to feel it. Okay.
He's got to be able to collect at least one leg and be able to curl in, but I just don't think with the fence being in there and everything, he's not going to have an opportunity to finish that guillotine. So
Gafurov is safe. Not only is he safe, Laura, it would allow him to chase that Von Flue choke if Anheliger did not let it go.
8 wins by knockout, 7 by submission in his professional career from Muin Gafurov.
Chad looking for his own potential armbar there, gives it up.
That was beautiful defense by Gafurov, just switching sides to the armbar side. Just completely releases the pressure of the armbar.
And this is just a type of wrestling that Chad has not encountered up until this point in his career. This type of relentless, on your back, floating wherever you scramble, he's on your back, he's in mount, all of these things. This is not something that Chad has seen before. And Chad is 2 years away from competition as well. We have to keep that in mind. You know, he maybe knocked some rust off there in the first round, but it's been a minute since he has been in the octagon.
And you know what? Can I say something, Laura? We talked about this in the meeting before. Was beautiful little. Now before Anheliger was digging his heels to get up. Well, instead of continuing to drive forward that time, Gafurov just kicked the foot back, sucked him back, and used his pressure to drop him. Anheliger has improved on the mat, though. Before, he used to be like a turtle on his back whenever he got taken down. He's doing a much better job of moving back to his feet and now reversing the position.
Keep your elbows inside, arms inside.
One of the most experienced fighters that he has faced in Gafurov. When you look on paper, you might say that Gafurov has the advantage most places, either on the feet or Anheliger hanging in there, landing an elbow.
And that's, oh my goodness.
Thinks about changing levels there, but Gafurov taking control here. He caught him.
Low blow.
Pick up your knee.
Looked like a
Stay
knee
right there.
landed there.
No coaching, guys.
The ref saying pick up the knees. I couldn't tell exactly, but it looked like both of them were throwing knees. And a lot of times that's what happens, right? When they both throw knees, you might go a little low because the guy's lifting his body to knee you also, right? So that knee may be on track and then eventually hits in the wrong spot.
Yeah, certainly not intentional.
Unfortunate and an accident for sure.
Walk it off here, Chad.
See, he's a little frustrated with 38 seconds on the clock. We just kind of put that up there to give you guys an idea.
You ready?
And Anheliger, you talked about his last fight in November of 2019.
Pick up your knees. Bring it in, guys. Touch gloves. Keep it clean, guys. All right, gentlemen?
Supposed to be on Contender last year, had a local fight fall through in Canada, so it's not like he hasn't been trying. The fights just haven't come about.
Yeah, and he has that win over Brady Heisted. I mean, listen, that was a fight where he was getting out-wrestled the entire fight, but he won the fight by landing an uppercut when Brady went to shoot. So this is a familiar position for him. He's a guy who's dangerous late into a fight. My goodness, that was a fantastic
He needs to let
takedown.
go of the neck here. Look, this is what, yep, good for him to recognize. Right here is a problem, especially if Gafurov can get to side control.
Look at the takedown numbers for Gafurov. He's been perfect so far, 5 for 5 on the night.
Very rarely do you see that. Do you see a guy complete every takedown they take? Gafurov has done that to this point.
Gafurov looking like he might be looking for some sort of Kimura, the way that he's changed his position. But Chad Anheliger needs to start getting his butterflies and attempting to re-guard here. This is a bad position for him to be in with a wrestler the caliber of Gafurov on top of him. Chad has half guard, but I don't see him looking for the sweeps, DC. He doesn't seem to know, you know, that those moves that you do from deep half, looking, you know, to get under and come out the backside, but he's making some moves here.
First and foremost, he's got to collect left side underhook, right? When you start your escape series, when you start your process to get back away from your opponents, first thing you got to do is control an underhook. Right now, Gafurov is controlling that arm. Looks like he's going to try to go for a Kimura or something, maybe a straight arm bar. And Anheliger could just turn back into him, get on his right hip, and dig that underhook. As Gafurov tries to Kimura here. And now Gafurov's okay. Gafurov was okay rolling across his back because if...
Well, you heard Anheliger's corner say they thought it was 1-1.
I agree.
Maybe.
Yeah, I agree. I think Anheliger getting that knockdown in the first round and then Gafurov dominating the positions in round 2 would seem to make it even.
Chad, forward, come on.
There's definitely a world, though, where Gafurov, you know, they're 1-1.
Very rarely, right? I mean, I was on the right end of that one time when I beat Gustafsson up and then he kneed me in the face. You understand that if one other judge would have given him that round, I'd have lost the belt that night. It's crazy how close in these little moments the fights are decided.
Gafurov digging deep for this double leg here instead of looking to reap the back leg. Doing a really good job of hiding his head as well, not allowing Chad to elbow or get those short punches
Look
off.
at that. Gafurov is he just understands that if he can get his hands locked, he can finish the takedown. When in reality, he should be switching to a single leg. When these guys do that, when they give you that right hip, instead of just wasting the energy to try to collect both legs, if he just takes a step to the left over Anheliger's leg, he ends up on a good single in deep, and then you start to move your feet to try to finish.
It's the efficiency of the takedown, right, DC? And in our school, we actually call what you just described the DC one. So there you go.
Oh, there you go.
Got it named after you. There's also a DC too.
Nice.
Another takedown attempt fended off by Anheliger that time.
Anheliger's doing a really good job of making him stay on his feet. And now Gafurov may start to panic a little bit. Anheliger needs to fight behind that beautiful jab he has. He has a really good long jab.
Good head movement by Anheliger.
Sorry, Dan. Fight behind the jab, but also continue to throw those weapons up the middle, the lead weapons up the middle, front kicks, knees. Show those uppercuts, feint the uppercut. Let him know that if you close the distance, there's going to be something here for you. Nice jab there by Chad. Oof.
Chad's starting to flow now as Gafurov can't get a takedown. Chad's landing good knees here. Gafurov's blocking. Back to the legs. I just don't get why Gafurov isn't attacking a single here. There it is. Now he's starting to take the single leg. Now he can start to work to a single side finish. But he doesn't have that ability. And he's tired.
And here comes Anheliger pouring on the pressure here in the third round with 2.5 minutes to go.
Anheliger has really good cardio. He's going to be able to push for the next 2.5 minutes.
Says he's not worried about the beauty of martial arts. He's just trying to smash his opponent. He's probably going to need to do that to pull this one out.
That was a nice uppercut there landed by Gafurov.
Stay smart here, stay very smart.
Gafurov started training at 6 years old. His father's dream was for him to become a champion. Unfortunately, his father died in a civil war when he was young, and he Started training in his uncle's gym in Tajikistan that he opened up in 2007.
And Chad has the cardio to do this, guys. He has the cardio to pull off an end at the very end. His last 2 fights are 5-rounders. He's prepared for that, and you can see that right now, still able to put power behind those punches.
Anheliger is doing a really good job of boxing. Oh, he switched up the takedown. That's bad. This is bad for Gafurov. Yep. Gafurov got desperate. Now Anheliger needs to just start to let punches go.
Well, you can hear it from his corner, DC. His coaches was just saying, let's go. They're going nuts right now.
It's so hard, though, to think about creating enough space to land effective shots. You just want to continue to stay close, look for those submissions. But when the clock starts to wind down, you have to think about where you are, the opportunity that's in front of you, and the most likely outcome. You need a TKO.
Well, we saw it last week, right, with Carlos Candelario. He came hard in the 3rd round. Even though he lost, he still got the confidence. Oh, wow, big shot. Dana loves those guys who try to finish strong in the 3rd.
If I'm Gafurov now, though, I'm letting the hands go because I feel as though Anheliger has won the first 3.5 minutes of this 3rd round.
Just over 20 seconds to go in the fight. Both corners pleading with their fighters to pour it on here in the remaining seconds.
I gotta tell you something, it's freezing up in here right now as these guys are starting to let the heat fly in the middle of the octagon.
Nice 1-2 landed by Anheliger. Gafurov throwing as well, and they fight to the finish. Muin Gafurov -400, the biggest favorite on the card. Chad Anheliger +300, the biggest dog on the card. And this was a good way to start the evening, DC. Nice fight by these two gentlemen.
For your winner, by split decision, Chad Anheliger.
Yeah, baby!